let's have a closer look at the Western Bulldogs. Joey, you want to put on the agenda last Monday a bit of a Moneyball scenario where you pitted two players against each other. Talk us through it.
Well, in the end, they get 17 and 25, so they're going to go in with a pretty strong hand, Ralphie, aren't they, considering they didn't have those picks early on. That was for Caleb Daniel and Bailey Smith. So they lose depth, Sarah. So that's the question for the Western Bulldogs. They are three players that were depth players, but they do get in someone in Matt Kennedy, who I did flag as a comparison to Jack McRae last week, because really when you look at their last 2 to 3 seasons, and we're not talking about the Jack McRae of 2021 and prior, where he was an All-Australian and Best and Fairest winner, we're looking at his last 3 seasons. Matt Kennedy's numbers stack up pretty much very similar. And Matt Kennedy's 3 years younger, he's on half the salary. So I like this from the Western Bulldogs. I think that they've got someone that can play some midfield minutes, can play at half forward. We know he can take a mark and kick a goal. So this just tops up their depth. They want to get, obviously, Richards and Garcia and Sanders to continue going into the midfield with the experience they've got. But they've got a player in Kennedy that can help them out.
And when they were decimated with injuries as well, he was the second marking target. I know that's not ideal for him. He still kicked 16 goals in those 20-odd games last year. We've talked about 24 possessions, 4.5 clearances and 4 tackles 2 years ago. So he does it all. He's an upgrade on whether it's a Latham Vandermeer. I just think it's a really canny pick and at the right price.
The challenge for the Dogs is to get their magnets right, is to put them in the right spots for a long period of time, not just late in season.
And from round one on.
Yeah, get it right at the start of the season, through pre-season, and nail it. The opportunity's there, they're good enough.
The Adelaide Crows, their fan base are getting impatient. They've brought in 3 players they're hoping can make a difference. Yeah,
they're thick of the suit with some experience coming, and obviously Neil Bullen and Peatling as well, which is really going to help with their young talent they've got. The first trade of the period, Alex Neil-Bullen, could be the best, because what he could do is just unlock and fulfil the potential of Isaac Rankin. Think about the role Neil Bullen played at Melbourne for Petrarca. He basically did the transition running, the defensive running, to allow Petrarca to play as a midfielder who could run in the forward half. If they could do the same role for him with Isaac Rankin, we could have the best player in the competition next year. So I like that one. Peatling will add some depth into the midfield, and Cumming as well. I like his run and kick. So they've done pretty well this trade period, the Crows.
And still with pick 4, of course, and they can get an elite player there. And then Scott Welsh's son Tyler, who's a hit-up forward as well. He might be pick 40 or 50, but he's got huge talent and not a high possession getter, but he kicks a lot of goals. And so, the best 2 players might be to come across the long term.
Melbourne, it was much ado about nothing in the end. We had so much drama and controversy, but in the end, Clayton Oliver is still a demon, and they're going to have to put a lot of mess behind them next year.
So crisis averted for now. So, not only did Cozzy Pickett stay, but so did Petrarca and Oliver. So it's a 12-month countdown. Again, you'd have to think that their coach is a premiership coach, but he's on the hot seat. And so can he start this season 4 and zip? A bit like Luke Beveridge. You put all of the nonsense and all the noise away. You start winning games of football and concentrate on what matters there. I'm not sure whether that's likely to happen, but, Alex Neil-Bullen, he's a massive loss out of this football side there. They haven't really brought in anyone in terms of star talent. Sharp's a nice, handy player, but played only 16 games in 4 years at the Lions. And so they're going to go and have a big powwow. I'm not sure whose farm it's at, but at some stage there, get all of the dirty laundry out there and make sure that they're comfortable when they come back for day 1 of the pre-season, because they've got some very disgruntled players and I don't know how they fix it.
Got to get the back office right first. Gary Pert and co have to straighten the ship. They have to be the reason for stability, not the opposite. So there's already been, Kate Roffey has fallen foul and gone. I think there'll probably be more change off-field.
We've got 2 big reviews coming, one a board review, one a football department review, which Gary's part of. So they've had about 2 days without controversy at Melbourne. Who knows what the next week brings.
How does Clayton Oliver go back to this club and play his best football?
It's Simon Goodwin. Simon Goodwin has always said he's my man, Clayton, and he's stuck fat with him. So I think it's up to Simon Goodwin to put his arms around these guys, say, hey, boys, this is our team. You're my boys, we're in. There's been some talk from others above, the football department that have maybe made some decisions or had some conversations, but I think it's a massive role for Simon Goodwin to get this group to be a finals team again next year.